Good morning, everybody. Pleasure to be back. Here we go again. It's day 3 of competition, squad number 7. We have a lot of members of Team Sweden going on again, and we have the pleasure to be commenting again with good friend, amazing coach, Robert Anderson. Good morning, buddy.
Good morning, good morning. We had a little sleep in, so we started in the third game, but we've been here watching bowling, so we haven't been.
Now, we haven't really been sleeping. To be honest, it's not the same when you watch on the screens. It's too many bowlers at the same time on screen, so we decided to spend a little bit of time outside trying to see if the line was any different, if bowlers are more or less using what it seems to me. It's like everybody's using more or less the same line now. It's not that many people trying to do different stuff. I don't see that many urethane balls. I don't see anybody bowling far to the corners. On the contrary, people seems to be bowling deep inside from the beginning. So I would expect the scores to be a little bit higher on this squad. Also, the talent of the bowlers we have. We have, as I said, Team Sweden is already in the lanes, and contenders to become potential contenders to become Team Sweden members as well are on the
Yes,
lanes.
correct. We have a group just underneath Team Sweden where you can get to first and then join Team Sweden in some tournaments to see how you compare against them, and eventually, if you start beating them, you can
Earn your
join.
spot, yeah.
Yes, correct.
So for those out there, it's just a bowler that is not yet in Team Sweden, but is a contender. He would probably bowl for any national team around the world. Maybe we could skip perhaps Finland, perhaps United States, but I would say any other team. If you're close to beating Sweden, for sure you could be on
Most
a
of the
national
teams,
team,
yeah.
on any of the other teams around there. So it's a lot of talent. It's a lot of good bowlers. You can see for yourselves. It's let's say we have at the moment Williams Benson is shooting 100 over in the first 2 games, 232, 268. We also have Emma, how you say that, Haltunen,
Haltunen, yes, it sounds Finnish, and it probably is, but she's Swedish.
but she's Swedish. Yeah, she's from Helsingborg,
Yeah,
doesn't she? She's
this is
born here in
home
Olympias,
center,
home
and
center. But she's doing really good, 230, 246. That's 76 overs. Remember, they have no handicap on this event, so it's plain scratch. We have some high scorings over there. All the way till top 10 is already 30 over. So, yeah, it looks pretty interesting. We see a lot of strikes. We see better sparing than we have seen on some of the other days as well. And we see a lot of strikes going on already on game 3 as well. So, it should be one of those squads where maybe 5 bowlers can make a little bit higher than 130 over, 140 over, which was the prediction we had yesterday. Actually, I said a little bit higher, 150 over, but it looks it's going to be probably what Robert says, around 130 to 140 over. So maybe 4 of the bowlers, even some more, could make it on this squad. We always have to see, obviously, how the transition goes on. But it looks a very, very interesting morning, a very nice squad to watch. And as we always say, Guy, if you have any questions, just text us down. We'll be happy to try to answer all of them.
of course, yeah. And I have to say also the third place there, Zacharias, he bowled also a very good block yesterday night. He bowled 90 over, and it's good to see some of the kids, they never get tired. They just bowl every squad.
Oh yeah, they have so much energy. It doesn't really matter how many squats you put on the day. They keep going and going and going. It's like those batteries that you remember the Duracell,
Yeah.
that rabbit that kept going on.
So, but of course, very impressive. Emma is in the Team Sweden for women. This tournament has some of the Team Sweden women here too, Josefine and Anneli. But it is also another tournament at the same time now in the bowling center where the next European Women's Championship is going to be, Odense, Denmark. So
So it
some of
makes
the
sense
guys
that some of them are over
has
there testing and
has
getting
prioritized.
used to.
Yeah. One of our big stars, Nora, is there bowling the finals a little bit later today. She had a bye, and Hannah. So I, of course, understand that prioritization from their side.
Absolutely. And also, I guess Nora, even if this season has been traveling a lot to United States, bowled a little bit on the women professional tour,
Yep.
but she's also bowling a lot in Helsingborg. She's a local,
Yeah.
so
Correct.
she's not going to have much trouble to find her way once she gets back home.
No, I mean that will be fine for her, but obviously it's a tall order to take on the PBA guys
Absolutely,
without handicap.
absolutely. But she's got all the potential, all the talent, all the power.
Yeah.
She has no problem to move in and use any reactive, and she's really, really talented. I mean, it's one of the biggest talents we have now coming up all over the world.
Yeah, Nora and Anna went for the whole PWBA tour this year, which was the end of a 4-year project where we were trying to help the girls go to the tour a few times to make it easier to do it on their own. And this time they took the step to go to the whole tour together. And first half of the tour was a learning experience. You have to deal with ball reps that works a little bit different than what we do here. Mostly we have like in our sports psychology here, you ask a lot of questions, you don't tell people what to do.
What to do, yeah.
So we don't tend to like when people tell us what to do, and it's a little bit different there. So you have to.
She need both of them. They needed to get a little bit adapted to that.
Yeah.
A guy coming and telling you should take that ball instead. It's like why?
And so the last half of the tour,
You guys keep going and always trying to improve whatever you guys have been doing in the past. And I guess that's the spirit, and that's why Team Sweden is always up there.
we try to roll with the punches, like how the bowling world changes and what you need to do to win medals. And sometimes it doesn't align with what you need to do to become a professional bowler. So, like I said before, I want all the players to go and get the benefits and experience of being on the tour, while at the same time I like the team spirit we get in the team here, which is maybe not what you practice on the tour. It's a pretty individual.
It's a pretty individual game that we bowl on, but I remember from the many occasions I bowled in my national team and I faced Team Sweden, you always had that special bonding through the group. I remember many championships, and I'm not gonna lie, there was a few championships where I thought, for example, Team Finland was, in terms of talent, it felt like it was one step beyond Team Sweden. But then the energy and the chemistry that Team Sweden built up around, you could always see they bowled like a team, especially when it was like 5-man events and stuff like that. And when you looked at Finland, it was 5 guys bowling together. You know what I mean? That kind of and that always made the difference. That always made Team Sweden ended up a little bit more successful, and it was something that um, we would have liked to export to other countries and other regions. Like, let's learn to bowl together, not against each other. And that is one of the things you see in bowling, especially in amateur bowling. You see team competitions, but they are all looking at their personal average. Oh, I was the best in the team. That sentence I've heard so many times in my life. It didn't go so well for the team, but I was the best in the team. And it's like, yeah, but was it a team competition or a single competition? No, it was a team competition. Then it doesn't matter how good you were. It's about helping your teammates as well. So let's focus a little bit on what's happening on the lanes. We have, where is William at the moment? Because he was 100 over. As I said, we have so many screens in here with so many people bowling. It's hard to find them. Sometimes we get lost.
William has 6 under in this game. Only 1 strike and the rest spares. If you can get this, yes, he did.
Okay, he's on 11-12, isn't he? Yeah. Yeah, but now it's game 3, so now its transition is really there. So it may be that the lane you are moved into, the previous bowlers have done something a little bit different, maybe a little bit deeper, maybe a little bit further out, so you need to adjust to whatever you find there. And now the changes are a little bit happening a little faster than on the first 2 games.
And we can see Emma has a very similar score, 6 under, who was in the 2nd place, but she no doubles. So a little bit under for the 2 leaders. Let's see if we can find Zacharias.
Zacharias on 1-2, also 6 under.
So that's a popular score right now.
It's a popular score at the moment.
94 in the 5th is probably what everyone is going for.
When these things happens, I believe those scientists say we live on a simulation
Mm.
because all these kind of odd things.
And we have Marcus Jansson as and I think that some of the guys like Marcus, he bowled a little bit more than 100 over in one of the blocks. Was probably fairly disappointed with that score when he bowled it, but now 2 squads later, nobody has passed him, and he's gonna go. Maybe it's not so bad for the
Maybe it
early
wasn't
bird
that
spot.
bad. No, exactly, exactly.
I had a little chat with James before today, and he said he was gonna have a completely different game plan this block because he felt like he got the maximum score out of his block yesterday. He said he had a couple of good breaks and didn't think it was going to go much higher if he did the same things. But I don't think the new plan is going
As he expected.
no.
No.
But
But that's the way it is when you bowl this kind of competition. Since you have different squads that you can bowl on, you can register for as many as you want. You can try things and give up the score at some point. So you really try things out, and then you're still gonna have another couple or maybe 3 squads to do something different, or even go back to the original plan.
yeah, and in his case, his score is fairly good. Almost 1320, and he's in third place now. So if the scores doesn't go up really high, he also has a good chance with that. So it's absolutely no reason for him to try to bowl 1310 this block. So he was
exactly.
going.
He has to go for either higher or just see if you can find out something for
so
the
he had
next
a
one.
pretty bad start, but now he has a 6-bagger. So he found something. And I can tell you that's a pretty dangerous player for everyone else if he finds something.
Yeah, when James is on fire, it's one of those machines. He puts the automatic button on. It's like the autopilot on the planes, and you can sit down and let it just enjoy. Martin is doing okay too.
Yeah,
He's
very much.
got
60 over
after two
2.5 games.
games, and but now he's striking a lot, so it feels like he's comfortable on the area he's bowling. And it's not that many two-handers on this squad actually. It's quite a lot of one-handed bowlers as well.
We also have Kevin Melin on lane 7. He won one of the European stops, won a little bit over the age of youth, but still very good Swedish bowler with good results. So, and he also plays for AIK. It's
Stockholm, isn't
Stockholm
it?
with fairly a lot of foreign players that they've been trying to make the highest division for 5 or 6 years with failing, and finally this year they made the highest division. So it's going to be a very interesting team to see.
And they made it right on the right moment,
Yes.
because it was 2 teams going down. Now you said yesterday, I remember, instead of 12 teams, it's going to be just 10 teams. So the competition is going to get even more exciting and difficult to compete on.
Yeah. But that it's going to be a strong team. One of the strongest players in AIK is Lucas Jelinek, who was multiple winner of the European Tour and very, very successful in the youth championships. He's also in the finals in Odense, so that's why we don't see him here now, but he will be coming.
He will be later on the week.
After,
I remember the first time I saw him was in the tournament in Mora at the Leandersons event. And I really felt like, wow, this kid can really bowl.
Yeah.
He did it not only the way he did it, you can see the talent, you can see the strength on the shot, but also the consistency.
Yeah.
He was so consistent and very able to move around the lane and do different things.
Yeah, he's a pretty tough guy. We played the youth World Cup in Peru. He got sick in the beginning of the week, so he couldn't eat for 5 days. And then we had to play a 16-game round robin.
Oh, Jesus.
And after that, he looked tired, but it's like,
but he managed.
if you throw the shot, he throws it pretty fast too. So he had to do that for 5 or 6 hours. So that was like impressive without any food for 5 days.
Keep drinking water. Keep drinking water. Don't get dehydrated.
So it's good.
Okay, let's go back to the leaders. Are they already coming back from those 6 under on their games? Emma
Six
is
under
still 6 under. Zacharias, it went even lower. He needs to
It's
strike out to make the par. Otherwise, he's on a
mm,
180 if he doesn't double. And then William, what was William? I lost him again.
William has made a double now, so he's 4 over at this moment. So actually now it's the real Larsen who's moving up the.
Yeah, it's Martin making his presence noticeable.
So if you can get this one, 277 is huge in this.
There you go. Oh, that was a lucky Larsen
And
strike.
that's why we
Definitely.
call him.
Yeah, that's why they call him Lucky Larsen.
Let's just say that that's why we sit here commentating this tournament with this name.
Well, it's nice to see Martin doing okay because he's such a kind guy. He's been up there for forever, pretty much. He's from our generation, even
Mm.
just a step, I think a year after my generation. But
Mm.
my generation, so I've been seeing him forever. And yesterday he was struggling a little bit, but he kept fighting and fighting and fighting and proving why he's one of the most successful bowlers out there. He never gives up. He's always kind of not only humble, but very polite on the lanes, very easy to talk to. He's never doing anything wrong to anybody. And when you see him a little bit struggling, you kind of want to bond with him and like,
Mhm.
come on, cheer him up, cheer him up. But he never really goes down. He always finds his way. He always finds a way to end up above par. And yesterday was the same. It was a little bit down, but then at the end of the squad, if he had not made a split on the last frame, he would have led the squad.
Yeah.
And he was kind of hidden during the day. So the fact that today is showing up a little bit sooner, maybe it's going to be the good squad for him.
Yeah. We can also see James is going for a tournament high game almost. He can still get to 290 this game.
He's getting into the 10th frame now, so let's see what goes on.
And yeah, and it's also hard when we talked about yesterday about the environment of bowling changing like in waves and obviously without getting into the politics behind it, it's been a little bit tough for the guys who can't throw purple hammer
It
the
is.
past 4 years.
It is.
So
It
you
is.
can understand that you have to have a lot of patience, and sometimes you're gonna feel disadvantaged.
We can speak about
Mm.
it openly. At least I can.
Mhm.
I had been bowling for the Storm Company since I came back to bowling in 2017. And I remember when I was playing the Swedish league, and everybody around me was using that purple hammer. It was every game I had to keep moving right, moving right, moving right. But the lanes were getting longer and longer and longer. They were never getting any shorter. And at the beginning, for example, when we bowled in Mora in the local matches, because the topography didn't allow really to go further outside, I had to jump deeper. There was a point where I couldn't keep moving anymore, right? Because then the topography would make the lane even tougher than the purple hammer. So I had to go to a pearl reactive, move a lot deeper, stay far away from them, more or less on the flat part of the pattern, but at least the traffic wasn't that bad on the breakpoint. So that was the only way for me to try to stay away from the purple hammer traffic. What I found out in the following, after a couple of years in Sweden, it was that as soon as there was friction on the outside, if there was friction on the outside, then I didn't care about the purple hammer because what I did is move further outside than them, any of them, and use the purple hammer on the left side. So they would create a hold in a way. They would make the lane longer on my left side. So it's a very tough situation when you cannot have the same ball as they do
Yeah.
because obviously your urethane is not going to move the way that urethane ball does. But also if you really understand how the lanes move and how the lanes are set up, if there is friction outside, I would actually like it that they were bowling the purple
Mhm.
hammer because they would actually make the lane easier and easier and easier. I felt like a lefty
Yeah.
in a way, like a lefty like Paul Moore in the middle of the
Mhm.
90s when he had that room over there and he had to do nothing else.
Yeah, but also of course, if you compare that to all the kids that bowling, for example, the championships, where you can't really move inside of them because they don't they go to fifth arrow with purple too.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So
It's crazy. No way for you to
so
go any deeper, and these patterns are a little bit more demanding, so there's no friction outside. It's like,
Martin
okay,
did the same thing in the
I
Euro.
cannot go out, I cannot go in.
Yeah. Martin went to the right to play just outside now during the European Championship,
Mhm.
and he did a great job there. But of course, he's playing the lane stand in a very difficult way where
Yeah,
you get really punished.
you need to be super accurate, and any little mistake, it's costing a lot of pins. So at some point, it can be a bit frustrating, obviously, and I guess that's the reason why many people who is not really allowed to use that ball has been like, please
Mhm.
get rid of it, get rid of it.
Yeah.
And but it's the way it is. It's the rules, the way they are. You have to bowl the competition as it is, and you just have to accept it.
Let's see. So Emma finished on 188. Uh,
464 over, so it's still okay. It's still a very good score. Martin's gonna strike out for 244. He had some issue on the approach, I think, and he missed the 10 pin on the previous frame. And but he's still gonna shoot 244 and go all the way up to 76 over. And James has ended up with 278, so he recovered from the first couple of games that were a little bit lower. So he's now about 30 something over. And now the scores are updating, so we're gonna let you know a bit more of the scoring pretty soon. Yeah, some low games happening as well. So I guess some people is hitting transition that they're not enjoying. Because I see a couple of 160, 170, 150 games, especially 1920. Today 1920 seems to be
as bad as yesterday.
as bad as it was yesterday again. Yeah. We see 158, 180, 179, 194. So nobody close to.
And today we can also see Anton Ahlgren, which I spoke about a little bit yesterday, that it's very good at going inside and hooking it a bit. And he actually had a really good score. He had 40 over, started with 3 strikes before he ran into a
Yeah,
lot of
he
problems.
probably hit the head pin with a lot of angle because he had the 4 split over there.
And that's exactly what I said yesterday. When you can go inside and start to create a lot of angles and slow down, it's really good with it. But yeah, then it's important to not get that angle hitting the wrong place.
Not too much. Okay, now William Spencer, 708.
Marcus is 50 over now. And Marcus has
then
been playing fairly stable the whole time. 1300 block, and then I think the other scores has been 40, 50 over. It's pretty solid. Sometimes when the tournament is over, like we're sitting now and we don't know anything what's going to happen about next weekend, but usually it doesn't turn out like you think. Either the score is going to go even lower and you think everyone had a really good chance in the beginning, but there's also times where everything changes and the scores really go up, and it feels like
I bowled on the wrong weekend when I bowled at the beginning.
So it's gonna
I should have waited for the PBA guys so they open up the lanes. Yeah, you never know.
So that's very important that you take all the pins that you can get now, because you don't really know if these lanes are the good ones or the bad ones.
Or the bad ones, absolutely.
I played once in Ballmaster when they just got the A22, the new oil machine. And we were there on the Thursday. I needed to strike to get to 160 over, and I left a 10 pin, and I was very disappointed. Maybe I kicked the share, maybe. And then the cut ended up 90 over because it didn't
go any higher.
It didn't clean very well in the beginning before they fixed the machine, so it was just keep adding oil all day. So in the beginning, in the end, no one could do anything. So then we were really lucky to be there early, because everyone who showed up Friday,
it was impossible. It was way too long and no back-end reaction, stuff like that. I don't think that's going to be what's happening here, because obviously we have the Kegel support and they really know what they're doing. But in terms of traffic, is exactly what Robert is trying to explain. You never know what's going to happen. It's unfortunately, that's one of the things that I'm not very very fond of. I remember when I was even before I bowled, when I was a kid and I was just watching bowling, there was a lot of formats where you bowled at least 2 games on the same pair before you changed into the next pair. And yeah, someone may say, well, it's your fault, you need to read the lane faster. But sometimes, even if you read the lane good enough, the adjustments on each lane, you need maybe 2 or 3 shots
Yeah.
because it's the small adjustment. And probably you find a spot, you could really score high on that lane, but boom, you have to change. So that is one of the aspects that I miss from the past. And as I said, not even when I bowled, even before I bowled, the fact that you could bowl at least 2 games
Yeah.
on the same pair. So if it's a tricky pair, at least you have a bit more time to find out the solution and try to survive it.
And also, what can happen here in Helsingborg, we've seen it a few times, is that the weather can change quite a lot. Going from a Swedish summer day, 13, 14 degrees, until 30 degrees. And that, of course, affects everything.
Yeah,
And we're
it's
also going
gonna.
to see the bowling center, even though there's some people here, it's gonna be a lot crowded.
Yeah, it's not as crazy as it's gonna get by the second week, and especially at the end. From Thursday, probably Thursday, Friday, Saturday is gonna be full packed. It's no places to see it. It's a lot of people watching, both upstairs and downstairs, and obviously all these people breathing. The CO2, it's hitting the alley, so the temperature in the bowling alley is going to be different. The surface of the lanes obviously are going to feel that slight difference, so we can expect a little bit of a different transition. And then on the other hand, it's also, as we said yesterday a little bit, it depends a little bit on the group of bowlers you have on the lanes. If you have a little bit of more younger two-handers with high speed using a lot of urethane, they're gonna create a little bit of a different traffic than you have a little bit more classic, old school, one-handed reactive bowls, and so and so. And so all these kind of things are a little bit of a lottery sometimes. Who am I following? Am I following someone who's going to open up the lane for me? Am I following someone who's really making the lane tougher for me?
We're gonna have some squads maybe in the middle of the week that might not be completely full.
Hmm?
That could also be either good or bad, depending on.
I remember, I think it was 2 or 3 years ago, Marshall Kent. He had to bowl like 12 or 13 squats, and it was not that he wasn't bowling good, but he was so unlucky. He was always following somebody that made the lane so much tougher for him.
Oh, Martin. Now he's pulling out all the tricks in the book.
Now it's going back to the lucky, lucky, lucky Larsen. Okay, William also is moving deeper. Now he's bowling on lane 15 and 16. He has a very nice, wonderful reaction. The ball is giving him strong pin action. He started with a spare and a double. He was already 108 over. So if the lanes keep opening up a little bit, we should expect for him to get quite a high squat.
For sure. And depending on like if you already made a score, like he has, he's already in the lead.
You bowl a
It
little
could
bit.
be sometimes it's bad that you don't have that, that you really want it. But on the other hand, it's quite a nice feeling that
Yeah.
you can play fairly
I
relaxed.
think mentally is a lot more relaxed, so you can take the risk shots.
Yeah.
You can take them with a little bit less fear
Yeah.
in a way. And sometimes when you have to do those crazy moves, or you have something that maybe I should go a little bit deeper, when you need the score, sometimes you behave like, you know what, I'm gonna wait one more shot before I change, or before I move, or before whatever. And then when you are a little bit like you said, you have the score already, you're gonna be up there, and you are fearless to do those moves and those changes a little bit faster.
So we got the update now for the 3 games. So Martin is moving up to second place after William Svensson on his. William has 108 over and Martin has 73. And
Emma is holding quite okay
she's
still,
holding on
even
very
if she
good.
had a tough game on the previous game,
Can
but she's
also
still on
remember that
64 over.
extra spots for women to make the final. So, but that one is going to be very hard.
I think she's starting to hit some traffic as well,
Yeah, I
because
mean,
it looks like on the heads she's not feeling that the ball's not crossing the heads as clean as it was a couple of
yeah,
games
I
ago.
mean, it is something that it started 10 years ago, approximately the same time as the Eurothane. We started to notice that it's very hard for the girls to play the European Tour when now it's better, but when it's urethane dominated, it is extremely difficult.
It's very difficult for them.
And we
Yes, I
actually
agree.
we made I made some research for our scoring pace in different situations, and uh, the girls averaged 30 pins more the first 3 games than the last 3 games, which is
It's a big,
over.
big difference. Yeah, it's like bowling two different competitions.
We even had uh, a project going on where we all the girls got to try to have a 14 pounder
Hmm.
to try to create more angles. I don't think it was very successful, but at least it shows we were trying so many things to see what to do, because they said it feels hopeless unless I have 800 for 3 games. I can't make the cut,
Yeah,
because even is the maximum score I can get the last 3 games.
the last three. Mm.
And as a coach, you also feel a little bit helpless. Like, what do you think I should do? I don't know. The best thing is probably just hitting the
Yeah,
pocket and
hit the
having a
pocket
really shitty carry.
and make sure that you don't have
But
any big holes or stuff
so
like that.
I,
But it's difficult. It's difficult.
so we will see if she can hold on. Still, like you said, she's running into a little bit of problems now. No strikes and 17 under, and we can see Martin is doing really well. Still started with 4 strikes.
On lane 19 and 20. So
Mm-hmm.
maybe it's gonna be the lucky charm
Mm-hmm.
on that pair.
We see William Svensson ran into an open frame, but Marcus has a double now, going for a three
Turkey,
bagger.
yeah, there's got it. Marcus is very consistent as well. It's one of
Yeah,
those bowlers that you don't think it's going to be that good, but then he's really unbelievable good. He's
he's very
super,
strong.
super strong performances all over the places. Every time I've seen him, and he can bowl pretty much all around the lane. He has no issues with that,
No,
because we see some bowlers they are super good, but they're super good in one kind of shot,
yeah,
and then when you cannot bowl on that precise line, you disappear from.
yeah. Well, that's not the case with him. And he also made he won some both teams and individual medals in. He won the singles European Championship one time in Finland, where we were talking about Sweden Finland. We have a special bowling relationship. Sweden Finland has a special relationship whatsoever. We don't like to lose to each other,
No, I know.
but
It's.
if we're also friends. It's we have a good relationship.
I think you
Uh,
have the bowling community has a better relation than the hockey community.
probably, and we had a really good European Championship in Finland, which
Which
was
is
good
yeah,
for us, but
yeah.
I don't think, yeah, it's a tough feeling for them.
I remember when you guys won the European Championships, 5 men in Tali, 96 or 97, and I think it's 97, maybe 96. I don't remember. But both teams were tight till the very last game, and the last game, Finland was facing Spain.
Mm.
So obviously I was on the team, and Bakke, Thomas, even Magnus, they came to me like, you now have to score, you now have to win, you have to beat them, you have to do this, blah blah blah. And we were not having a very successful event, Team Spain. It was the first time that we were starting the group together. It was the first time that the four best bowlers in Spain were bowling together. And but that last game, for some reason, I said to my teammates, they are my coaches, they are my friends, they are helping me develop. We have to do this. We have to perform. I think in the whole tournament we made 1,000, which is 200 average, once or twice only. So it was a really bad event. Okay, I started with the front nine. Esteves, the lefty, started with the front nine. Obida made spare and 8 in a row. So we got to the 10th frame with three guys going like potential 300 and 290. And the other guy was like for a 240 game or something like that. We ended up shooting 1130 or 1140, and we obviously won that game. And Sweden was the champion. Everybody in Sweden came to hug us like, "Oh, thank you guys, you've done it, you've done it." But I still remember today Mika's face, looking at me like, "I got you a contract with Ebonite, and now you're kicking me and you're beating us and you're costing us the gold medal." And in the center, in the middle of the tally bowling, so it was completely full packed. Yeah, it was quite something to do that in Finland.
Yeah.
Okay, Martin, six, front six.
This is a huge game coming up for Martin.
Yeah, he's gonna get up there. And then, okay, where is James at the moment?
James is doing the opposite kind of game as last game.
Oh, yeah, he moved to a pair he didn't like so much, I see.
Yeah.
Because he just shot 278, so it felt like maybe he has found something that's gonna work better.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not gonna be this game.
Emma finally got a strike. She's having a little bit rough game with 30 under in this game. Oh, okay. He got away with that. Martin could have gotten a little bit. He could have gone a lucky strike, but he could have been worse too. So, okay, William a little bit under.
Yeah, I see some balls already crossing into the middle of the headpin. So it tells me the transition is really happening now. Now it's when they really need to be awake, start moving in, start finding a little bit more oil on their inside area, and just make sure that you don't send it too far to the outside on the break point. Otherwise, you're going to be in trouble.
Yeah. Let's see where Theodor Samuelsson is. There we have it. Oh no, he has a little bit under this game. I was thinking how it's interesting to see how the lanes look for the lefties. We haven't seen too many lefties. We've seen James, he did good, but he's pretty versatile lefty, and he's also really good.
Yeah, he's a really strong
so
bowler.
It would be just interesting to see some more lefties and see what they do. Theodor is a high rev player. Did really well here last time. Finished, just got beaten by Jesper in the finals. He also won the Swedish Championship. So, but had a little bit rough day yesterday. Today's okay, 30 over for 3, but then not the best game.
I was just hearing some sound. That's why we were asking. So maybe someone was asking a question, but I'm not sure.
No. It's just Johnny Magnusson saying, "Hello, boys. Hello, Johnny."
Tjena, Johnny. Okay, scoring is some ups and downs, as we said. James is really not happy on this pair. You can see on his body language, like, let me go to the next pair.
James has a tendency to be very focused and creating good results when he knows he has a good look and it's important. But if he loses interest a little bit or doesn't feel like he has a good look,
then it's like, I don't care anymore. Let's say it that way.
I had the pleasure of going to Aalborg with James and Jesper when they decided to put the very difficult pattern on the left side.
Oh.
And they did not enjoy that so much. But let's.
It looks like the leader of the squad after this game, it's probably going to be Martin.
Yeah.
He was only 35 behind William. William is having an okay game. But Martin is trying to get a 270 game again. So potentially, yeah, he should be going all the way to 100 and something over after this game.
He can get all the way to 150 over if he gets all of these.
Yeah, that would make him very happy, no doubt. Okay. 9th frame for Martin. It's bowling on lane 19. A little bit deeper than the 4th arrow. And it looks like this lane has, yeah, he hit transition in this lane. There's 2 shots in a row he hits the head pin. A little bit too deep on it, so maybe it's time for him to move a little bit. But when you're striking a lot and you're feeling like you have a good position, sometimes you don't want to move before you're really sure that the transition has hit you. Now I'm seeing William on lane 16 is gonna try to work on the second double on his game so he can start going above par. And he's really deep, he's gone all the way to the 5th arrow. Emma is really struggling again. There's another Emma. Or my glasses are too blurry. What does it say over there?
No, yeah, Emma Halton is actually
It's
over
another
there.
Emma over
Yeah.
there. That's the reason why.
Yeah.
I was thinking like, wow, this game is really going down. It's
Yeah.
another Emma. My apologies.
No, Emma can still get to 189 if she
Strikes
punches
out,
out.
yeah.
So we're looking at a potential 170 game. She's in that position where even if you have a great start and you have 70 over, starting adding up 20 under, 20 under, pretty soon you have to do some.
A little bit what you said 15 minutes ago, when they have a very high scoring pace on the first 3 games, when it's fresh, when especially the most powerful, speedy guys have a little bit of issues in the beginning of squats. It's when they become stronger and consistent. But then when the traffic starts pushing them too far deep into the lane, it becomes a little bit tougher.
So Martin still he can get to 120 over, which is really good score. We have some other big games.
We have Martin Paulson doing pretty good
Yeah.
on 13-14, I think it is.
And Joel Lutelius, he can get to 70 over. He's going for a 259 game. And that's I guess the best part with a little bit slower scoring pace altogether. That 250 game really changes your situation.
It makes you go up quickly. Zacharias was with 630. He just shot 170 on the 3rd game, but now he's
got to 240. No, 220 now.
He had the chance to go to 4. He didn't strike on the 10th, but still 220 is going to put him back a little bit on the road. If you have a very good last couple of games, it still could be worth it. Good strike for Martin on the 10th frame. He's probably going to try to double it so he can go nearly to 250. And as he said, sit comfy on 120 over after 4 games. We also start to see some spare misses on those people who are not really scoring that high, and that tells me that frustration is coming in.
Frustrations is starting to
Um,
set in. I know.
yes,
I can also see it, and many of these guys they've been having a whole day of bowling yesterday, waking up in the morning, hoping for a
for the
new day, and then you
better,
start. No, it's just gonna continue the same way, and then you start to.
and then you go, why the hell did I wake up so early if I, to be back into this struggling feeling? Nice double for Martin on the 10th frame, so he's on the way to 247. That's gonna, yeah, I think it's gonna put him on the lead unless William
No. He's gonna be in the lead.
doubles.
Ah, okay, yeah,
Yeah, if
you're
William
right.
doubles, it's gonna go for
24.
216, and they're both gonna be on 120 over for 4. Noel is really struggling today. It's 110 under the bar. Remember, Noel was the leader for one of the squads yesterday. It's Noel Torgersen. It's the son of Tore Torgersen and Linda Haglund. So the genes are working very good for him, no doubt. And yeah, Marcus is really deep inside now. Around 27 board on the arrows. And we see a lot of people really standing in front of the ball return already.
And Emma finished up with 179, so she's now 40 over. Still, it's a good score. I have a feeling that if the everything is gonna go so much left, the girls are gonna have a little bit problem getting a score here. So if Emma can get to around this 40, 50 over, I think she has fairly good chance to make the
The
gateway.
yeah, yeah. What would you recommend them as a coach? And in my mind, first I'm gonna say what I think I would recommend the girls when they have this kind of issue, that they are forced to bowl so deep inside that they don't really get the angle as good as they wanted or the reaction as good as they wanted. For me, I would suggest them to go into a more shiny ball for sure. That's the number one thing. I would maybe not say asymmetrical, even if you want the backhand reaction. I would keep it asymmetrical so it keeps the energy for the end of the lane. A strong layout though, so it can flare. But then I would recommend them to slow down the speed a little bit and go a lot more around. Try to spin the ball a little bit more, so you really create that length on the lane that your speed is not giving you. So I would try to tell them, just keep moving in. Don't worry how deep you go, even if it feels a little bit uncomfortable. Just make sure that your ball crosses the heads properly, because that's what's gonna make it consistent, and just be a lot more around it, so it doesn't read that soon, and it's gonna generate that little bit of extra backhand reaction.
An option, of course. I think the difficult thing is what kind of situation we are in and what we're gonna try to do. One of the first thing when I started as a coach for Team Sweden ladies, we actually just separated ourselves from bowling men's events because it's not something that's important when we go to play the women's event.
No, I understand what you
So
mean.
the
Yeah.
tricky part is like for example Emma, what to do here? Well, are you going to try to make 100 over, or are you just trying to make beating the other
Just
girls?
survive and beat
Yeah.
the other girls. Yeah.
So it's depending a little bit on which one, but um,
But for me, in a
yeah,
way,
yeah.
if
It's
you,
the,
besides the
mm,
national team
mm,
competitions and the women competition, if I want to keep bowling, I mean,
mm,
as a girl, if I want to carry on and compete in some of more events like this
mm-hmm,
one, or Bowl Masters, or OICO, or stuff like
mm,
that, you're gonna end up having a lot of bowlers that have a lot of rep rate and really make you move the line deeper and deeper. If I want to have a chance on those kind of
Mm.
conditions, I would set myself to practice for a few days, at least a few days, maybe 3 or 4 weeks, to get used to go deeper and around the ball, so it doesn't become something that I'm not
Yeah, for sure,
comfortable
for sure.
doing or
Yeah,
able to do in
yeah.
a way. I'm not telling you that it's going to be like
Mm.
it's going to make you win, but at least it's going to open up a window for you to
Mm.
succeed a little bit more when you get into this kind of a tricky situation.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, so scorings entering the fifth game. We have Martin was 120 over,
William,
exactly 120 over.
112 on William.
Exactly. And then the next one, I believe, is around 60 over. We have 52 over for Joel. We have 54 over for Marcus Jansson.
Mhm.
And we have 43 over for Emma. Oh, we have it over
Mm.
there already. Lovely. Yeah, 920 for
Easy.
Martin Lancer, 912 for William Svensson, and then we drop down to 854 for Marcus Jansson, 52 for Joel, 48 for Zacharias, and 43 for Emma. So it's quite a step between Martin and William and the rest of the squad. Also, if we look at the progression on game 4, we see 247 as a high score, and then it's 204, 206, 220,
Scores
218,
went down.
170, 170, 190, 170, and we're talking about top 10. I'm just reading top 10. If I go all the way to top 12, I also see a 190 and a 160. So transition is obviously here. Now it's about to see, can they manage that transition? Can they find a way to get the lane working for you and not against you? We have to see. For sure, that's the moment where you don't want to give up any single spare. Every single spare is crucial when you don't really strike as much as you were doing. And I was thinking more about Emma, for example, at the moment. She really needs to make sure she takes every single
Yeah.
mark she can.
Which lane has Emma moved to now?
I
She's on
think she
5 and
was,
6.
yeah, 5-6. And Martin has gone from side to side, so now he's bowling on lane 3 and 4. And James is on 1 and 2. He's on the other corner. Yeah, we see a lot of people standing in front of the ball return already.
Yeah. Oh, he got it back. But you can also see already now it doesn't look like the cut's going to change too much because it's only two bowlers having a really good score and one of them is already the leader.
And one, yeah,
So,
exactly.
so it's basically just one person that can
That
affect the. Can, of course, they can bowl higher in the end, but it feels like it is a tough job to bowl those 60, 70 overs for the last two games in this environment.
To be honest, I'm a bit surprised. I was really expecting the lanes to open up a little bit more for the last two games, but it's not really happening. Okay, William is hitting 1920. We have been saying it's not the easiest pair in the house, but Martin proved us wrong on the previous game, and let's see what William is gonna manage to do also. And for me, another indicator that the lanes are not that easy, it would be, what's his name? Philip Williamson. Because every time I see this guy bowling deeper than 20, he's always super successful. He always manages to score very high. And I have already seen him a couple of squads, and he has not been scoring that high. Maybe it has to do with fishing summer vacations. He's lost a little bit of rhythm from regular season. I don't know. But usually, as I say, when he bowls deep inside, is one of his comfy spots. He usually bowls very high. Today he's also on just 5 over, 194, 214, 194, 203. So it might be tougher than I anticipated.
Yeah. Now and he's also a very accurate player. And like you say, he usually gets it to work from the inside. Uh, but it feels like it's not so defined. What's the problem here? Like usually you would say, "Oh, the lane is getting too dry. I need to move to the left." But here it's dry, but you can't really send it out. And now Marcus is making a little move too. He was actually third in the squad with 50 over, and then you start with 3 strikes. You're moving up quickly. Let's see how.
Obviously, we see nobody going into the gutter, nobody's going into the sides, everybody's moving in. But it may be with that feeling they're not that used to, or we are not that used to nowadays to have to bowl that deep inside, but not being able to send it too far to the corners. It's a very tight line. It's very straight angles, and
I think also what's the tricky part here is I talked a little bit to Christy Jonas too. Is it's 30 mils of oil, so it's a lot of oil. But most of that oil is in the first
first
20 feet.
mm,
So that means that it's not that much oil after that. So I don't think it looks like 44 feet. Certainly grabs the ball a little bit
a little bit
earlier
sooner. Yeah,
than
yeah, I
you
agree.
would expect, and then you don't get that hold. And
So you can't miss out, you can't miss in,
no, and
you
one
can't
thing,
miss at all.
and one thing we practiced a lot in, which I feel like the urethane era has destroyed a bit. It's to have a really clean release. I think when we're gonna see
It's
some
a
of the
bit more
PBI
grippy
games,
now, right? With all this
much
use
grabbier.
of urethane,
Yeah,
everybody's kind of over gripping the ball
yeah.
a little bit more than they
You
used to.
basically can't grip it too much.
Mm.
So, and it's easy. We used to say clean release as in the thumb going out smoothly of the ball and then hitting it with the fingers.
It's more rolling the ball than lifting the
Yeah.
ball.
But for the two-handers, it's also not hitting up on the ball or just grabbing it and just getting it. Because if you can get the ball to just go forward a bit too, you don't have to go so much left.
It's exactly what you say. It reminds me a little bit of that training technique you guys had up here. Well, I learned in the 90s to really have a free swing when you put that ball in the
Bag.
in the bag
Yeah.
and just let the
Yeah.
as soon as you
Many
pull
people would have a problem with that.
as soon as you pulled a little bit, the bag was moving the whole
Yeah.
body all around. It felt like you were
Rip your arm.
trying to carry a tractor instead of
Yeah.
a bowling ball. But I guess what you mean is that if you manage to get back to that feeling of the follow through instead of grabbing it, that would make the ball go a little bit longer and hold it better on the same line that you're trying to hit.
I also find sometimes, let's say it's 44 feet, but it's not so much oil in the end. So it feels like, let's say 42, 43. When you get too deep, it's going to be very hard to get that ball to stay on line. It's going to start to hook
It
a
wants
little
to
bit too
read a
early.
little bit too soon.
Yeah,
It
and
wants
when
to
you
start grabbing, and you don't want it to grab. But then you cannot push it further outside
no,
because it's never gonna make it back.
and if you're gonna throw it really fast, you're not gonna get any angles.
No, and then you
So
lose consistency as well, and that's not one thing that you need on hard conditions.
so we can.
So it's a demanding pattern
It's,
indeed. It's a demanding pattern. It requires for you, but that's what we want also, right?
yeah, yeah. I
We
mean,
have the best bowlers in the world competing here this week and on the next days. So we want them to prove us how
yeah.
talented, how good, and how they find the solutions. Because then it's also good for the amateurs that they can see what type of solutions, what type of different shots and adjustments the best bowlers in the planet implement. So then you can learn something from that and try to do it on your own.
Yeah, and you can really see when there's a different skill needed on fresh and burn that it's impressive to make a score. Like you have to do something in the beginning, then you have to change your game completely to do something else in the end, and that's obviously
It
impressive.
separates. Yeah, what's in English? They separates the sheep from the I don't know how you say that,
Hmm.
but those who are listening probably understand what I
Hmm.
mean. It separates the good from the bad in a way.
Or the versatile at least. So that's what I mean. We have to say that last year we saw the leftists dominating a little bit, but they're gonna have a problem doing that this year. So it's gonna be.
In a way, it's like the pattern demands, in terms of technique.
Mm,
I'm talking about terms of technique. It demands a little bit of an old school style,
mm,
especially as soon as the transition goes on. But on the other hand, the old school guys didn't really ever bowl that
no,
deep inside.
I think that we're gonna have 2 years ago in the top six. I believe it was six of the PBA guys. It was a long pattern, and
Mm.
you have to go inside and be clean on the ball.
Yeah, that one
Then
was
there was
pretty
a
long.
shorter pattern, and we could, we as Swedish people, rip the shit out of urethane.
Mm.
There were basically no PBA players in the top eight,
Mm.
and I think that this will be full of PBA guys. They're gonna be good at this.
Yeah, it looks that way.
So I think that this is something that is gonna be hard to stop the PBA guys on, because this is similar skills that you would need on the PBA tour. And the one last year, that was more what you need in Europe. And that's you become good what you need to become good at home.
It's what you used to bowl more often, so it makes sense. Yeah, William is not really enjoying that 1920. Per
No,
is not in trouble yet, but he's not. The body language tells you he's not really happy of
Martin
whatever he's
is
found.
hanging on, making a lot of spares to be a little bit under. So the one making a small move now is Marcus, 17 over. But overall, the scoring pace seems to be collapsing a little bit now.
Where is Emma? I've lost Emma. She was going left, so she probably should be somewhere around 9,
One and
11.
two, three.
No, no, I think it's 5, 6.
Oh, yeah. So Emma is 8 under for the game. She has a double, but also one open. Martin Paulson making a move.
Yeah,
Our
But
50 plus.
Martin Paulson is a little bit like that mix we were talking about a couple of minutes ago. He's a little bit of a
Mhm.
previous generation. He had a lot of power and rev rate for his generation,
Yes, yes, for sure.
but the mental on his game, it's probably used to this kind of
Mhm.
conditions where you, even if he was a gripping ball, a gripping guy and
Yeah.
powerful guy, he got used to bowling that follow through era. So the fact that he could move in and he can kind of let the ball cross the heads. Maybe, yeah, maybe it's a good moment for him to go up. Last game was already pretty good. He shot to 34.
Yeah. I have two funny stories about him. One was when I was doing my research for school. The research was about how length and timing of a person affect ball speed,
Hmm.
and I wanted everyone to throw 2 slower shots, 2 medium shots, and 2 faster ones. I said, I don't know what to do. Let's just do it. Okay. And then he bowled like 26.5, 26.5, 26.5. Okay, now you go medium. 29.8, 29.8. And now you go fast. 32.5, 32.5. So how do you do that? I don't know.
I just do it.
I just do it. So no explanation, no theory behind it. And last year I made a tournament called Captain's Individuals. No, that's not what it's called. Invitationals. And we did something. One time we bowled the same pattern twice, one with the PBA rules and one
Hmm.
without, to see what effects with
The
personality.
scoring, yeah.
And then some other pretty difficult patterns. And the youth had a group, Team Sweden had a group, And I just wanted to see what would happen if, and I made a control group. So I asked Peter Hellström, one of our
Hmm.
best 50 plus players, Paulsson, Carl Wahlgren, and Robin Persson, who is bowling now.
Hmm.
Experienced guys. And Paulsson was like, "You want me to bowl those guys? Why? I have no chance against those guys." Before the last game, the 4 guys, they were all in top 8, and Paulson bowled a bad game not to win the whole thing. So when you put these older experienced guys on these difficult patterns, they run over the kids.
Yes, yes, I agree. I agree completely.
And
But
they also understand quickly, like, okay, this is difficult. My job here is to try to bowl 70 over, while the kid's gonna go, I'm gonna try
200
1400
over,
as
exactly, and it's
usual
not
at
going to
practice.
happen. Mm.
So
But as you said yesterday, when we were talking yesterday, it's a little bit what you get used to,
yeah,
those waves
yeah.
you were talking. I keep always reminding myself when I was brought up here by Thomas and Bowman and Backe, and I bowled the tournaments with the best bowlers in the world. Every time we went to an easy pattern, like the cut, I remember the Danish Masters was a couple of years that the cut was like 230 average or 225 average. I was never even close to the cut. But then the tournaments, the small tournaments around, there was 2 or 3 of them that were like really tough patterns. Like top 8 was only above par, and I would always make top 8. And Thomas was talking to me like, "What's wrong with you? How can you score as high as we do on the tough patterns, and then when it's easy, you cannot perform?" And I believe it's because, as I said, it took forever for us in Spain to get synthetic lanes. We were only
Mhm.
bowling in wooden lanes that they lost the oil, they lost the capacity to be easy. So it was always very, very tough conditions. So for me, in my mind, to bowl 200 or 210, it was the top. You
Mm.
couldn't do any more than that. So when the lanes were to bowl 240, 240, 240, I couldn't understand. For me, okay, I made to 10, to 10, to 10, I'm
Mhm.
happy.
Mhm.
But no, you need something else. And I believe that's what's happening with some of the kids when they bowl many opens that like it's happening lately that to make the cut you need 235 average, and to make top 10 you need 245 average. You get used to that such high
Yeah,
average that whenever you go to a lane that is never going to allow you to do that, you just don't understand what's going on. It
yeah.
takes time for you to process and to admit what's happening.
Mm.
You get the wrong perspective of it.
Yeah. And also add to that, it's always re-entries.
Yeah, on the top of it.
Paulson is doing well. Let's see what's happening here now. Philip Wilhelmsson is having a good game, and also Emanuel Jonsson. But the most important players right now, scoring wise for the
As
squad, William is
Martin and
struggling a
William,
bit.
yeah.
Martin is making a lot of spares.
Martin is surviving lane 3 and 4, which is important because he has a good score. If he doesn't find a good lane, at least go away from that pair with a par and just leave it to the last game. Try to get again a 220 or 230. That would probably make him go directly into the finals. And William, well, he hasn't found it, but he doesn't really have to worry. He's already up there. He's
Yeah.
leading the tournament at the moment. So I guess he can just take a few risks and see what happens. Okay, now we're going to see William on lane 19. He's bowling quite deep inside. He's standing somewhere around 40 with the feet. And I'm guessing he's going to be shooting somewhere around 26, 27. More or less 26, 27. A very powerful strike. That was a wonderful shot. It's a lot of people already around 26, 27 in the arrows already.
Marcus also in front of the ball return. And another spare for Martin.
Sperma Queen. spare machine at the moment for Martin. But that's something that remember a couple of months ago when we were talking on the under 21
Yeah.
World Cup, when the lane got a little bit tough and they were
Yeah.
giving away so many spares gone out to nowhere. So the fact that you can spare when the lane is tough, it's going to guarantee that you don't do any low game that then you're going to regret for the rest of the week. Okay.
We also did forget to tell everyone that this is also one of the turbo games. So Emmanuel can get to 268, which would probably be in the lead right now, even though it might not hold
Be
up.
enough. No,
But who
exactly.
knows?
Only one game, and it's a lot of talented bowlers yet to bowl.
But also when the scoring pace goes down quite a lot, a lot of people would go inside of the cut if they beat the turbo, so to say. So the turbo is actually 268 right now. So he needs to punch out to tie with that.
Oh,
Big open
yeah,
for
big
Martin.
open for Martin on the
Oh,
10th
it's
frame.
not open yet, but big,
It's a split. It's 3 6 10 7. He can spare it. I mean, he's very accurate. It's not the toughest splits that you can leave.
yeah.
I think I prefer that one to the baby split. I was always having a lot of issues with the baby split. And people used to ask me, how can you miss the 310 so often? And I believe it's because I got used to spare it when I was such a young kid that my ball was so light that it always hit the three pin and deflected to the to the 10 easily. There you go, Martin sparing that quality. Wonderful.
he's making it.
He's fighting that game
Yeah,
like a
and
lion.
the tricky part is that when you're starting to get out of 6, 7, 8, you're still going backwards a bit. So even if you spare and do well the whole game, it's gonna
But
be a
you're gonna
180
end up,
game.
yeah, you go behind the par anyway. Yeah, Emmanuel got a double, so he had two more
Yeah,
for
he can actually get to 60 over.
268.
So
Yeah.
one more game like that he would be in. And then we have a few guys staying around the 20, 30, 40 over. It's going to be hard to do something to go inside of the cut.
You need a perfect game, which is not going to be easy in these conditions.
And Emma also ended up without so much strikes. So she's 180 for 27 over.
Yeah, Emma started with 230, 240 something, but then it's 180, 180, 180. So it's not low games, but it's 60 pins gone.
And right now the scores are fairly low on the women's gateways, so you need to get over 11-16, and you need to make 11-72 to take the lead for women. So she's in a very good position to do that.
And the current leader is Emma Fryant with 1172. She's also bowling on this squad, but she's suffering a lot more than she did. She's currently going for 810 after 5 games. So that's going to be a thousand short series. Probably didn't found what she was looking for. Okay, and Emmanuel,
No.
9 on the last one, so 267 is not going to be the leading turbo at the moment. Just 1 pin short.
Martin Paulson had a split, but he also made it, just like Martin, so he can still get to 249.
And William really needs to strike on this one.
Nice. So William is probably gonna retake the lead now for the squad.
And it's a strikeout for the 210 because he's got that huge split and just a 7 and a 6 on the carry
And
in the middle.
the result for the 50 plus section, Martin Paulson is already in the lead with 1164, but he can just make that lead a little bit bigger. And
he's going to be on 20 something over after this game.
yes.
So,
But There's also a fairly amount of good people plus 50 in Sweden coming
Yeah, and
later on.
still to bowl.
Oh,
Oh, that was
Brooklyn.
William Lucky Svensson now.
Mm-hmm. Martin a 9, so he is going to be bowl at 190 approximately, to be just exactly 100 over then.
110 over is going to be if he
over,
strikes. Yeah.
over. For the next game, it's also a turbo game. We have the leader at 267. So everyone has a chance at least for 2 frames.
Yeah.
Oh, he was pretty lucky
Yeah, he
to
was
get
very
a strike when he needed it, and then the field.
Brooklyn on the 11, 7-10 on the 12. Exactly what he wanted. He's going to leave that pair like, okay, I survived this one. Yeah, that was a fun thing to see all of a sudden. I'm not really sure what Philip was trying to do over there. Just bowl from far on the right. And we should remind him he's not going to get any handicap. To Philip, just joking, because that's one of the things I see in Spain sometimes. I would say 90% of the tournaments down there is handicap tournaments, so people bowl with handicap. And I see so often when people is not achieving the scores they want, they start missing and missing and missing, and it's like, why is he missing so much?
Now I get it. Now I get it.
And that's why I was joking when Philly made that shot from the complete right side of the lane. And I was like, maybe we should remind him he's not going to get any handicap if he, even if he misses. Now, for all the people in Spain listening, buenos días. Espero que estéis todos bien. Same for people in South America and Latin countries. Os mandamos un saludo a todos. And we are entering now the 6th game on this 7th squad, 3rd day of bowling here at Helsingborg, Olympia Bowling Alley, and the Storm Lucky Larsen's 2025.
We just got the scores for the 5th game in, and it's still William Svensson 120 over, Martin 109 over, and then a fairly big jump down to Emanuel Jonsson, Zacharias, and Marcus. That's around 50 over. I think that after that it's going to be a little bit hard to get in for the players, so a huge game on one of the people 50 over, and but we don't really know, about a decent game for Martin now. Needs to get a few more strikes going than the last game.
So where is Martin bowling now?
7 and 8.
7 and 8. Oh, that hooked pretty early.
Hooking early.
Hooking very, very early. Maybe he gripped it a little bit more than he wanted, but still the ball reaction was pretty early. And we see that early motion in many of the lanes. We see some lofting already. Joachim is pretty deep inside at the moment. Like flying the left gutter. But that's a little bit what we said. I mean, he just got 5. He hit the pocket, but he didn't get enough reaction. And it's when it really becomes tricky. You cannot move back to the right because it's way too much traffic. The lane has already been burned. But you cannot go any further left because then you start hitting the traffic of, not really the traffic, but the part of the pattern that has a little bit less oil on the heads. So the ball's gonna start rolling a little bit too soon, and then you're gonna try to fly over that area, and then maybe the ball gets too much speed and loses a little bit of rep rate, so it doesn't really react on the back. So it's not that easy. It's not as easy as I would have expected to become at the end of the squat. Just gonna have to blame it on Chris. I know he likes it when people complain about the oil man. So we'll try to get him later on and see if he wants to talk a little bit on the streaming. It's something that we don't have very often. The oil man talking on the streaming, but I think it would be pretty interesting. See how he thinks and how he sees.
I think also one challenge that's going to be having this kind of event is that obviously you don't want the pattern to be too similar from year to year, because then people are going to figure out that either I will go there or I will skip it
Or
because
I don't go because I know it's not
yeah.
my type
So
of
you want
game.
to do different all the times, but it's so difficult to make a small change. Like the scoring pace can either go really low or really high, or
Mm,
and also there's I mean here it's the rules of the PBA causes the urethane to be a little bit out of play. So at least you pretty much know what people are gonna bowl.
mm.
But it's a very hard job, and the only thing you can say is that everyone gets to bowl on the same pattern. So one year you might love it, next year maybe not.
Yeah, it's very unfair when and I'm gonna include myself, at least at the years where I had less knowledge about the game. It's so unfair when we blame the lane guy or the responsible for the pattern because the lane is not above him the way I wanted it, or the lane is not doing what I expected it to do, and we always tend to blame it on that guy, but it's not really their job to 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 make you strike more or strike less. It's actually that is your job. That is what you do with your decisions and your ball changes and your line changes, and so we need to grow as a sport and become a little bit less complainers. I would say we should complain a little bit less. We should learn to be a little bit more sympathetic with the lane guys because I mean you think in which mind does it fit that the lane man wants to be hated? Or he's not trying to do your life harder. He's not trying to do your life difficult. It's just their job. They put up a pattern, and then it's your success or not success to be able to read it and find it and play it the right way and adapt to whatever is happening. And also, it's very unfair when we talk to the lane guy, like, it was very tough. Yeah, but the lane guy only is responsible for, I would even say, less than the warm up. As soon as you start doing the warm up shots, the traffic you do on the lane is going to affect that pattern. So the fact that we complain on the sixth game, oh, the lanes are not the way it's supposed to be. What do you mean the lanes are not the way? The lanes are what you done with them.
Yeah, we have some comments also in the section where people commenting that they think it looks pretty tough.
Hmm. It certainly doesn't look very easy. I must say I'm kind of happy I'm not bowling this one. It would be challenging, definitely would be challenging, especially after bowling only six games in the last 14 months. But if you let me choose, I would have rather bowled the last year event instead of this one. I feel a lot more comfortable when I'm hanging the ball in the gutter than when I have to stay in front of the ball return. I mean, I can do it, but I'm not as accurate. Not even close. I'm a lot more accurate when I'm bowling the old the old school outside shot. Okay, Noel seems to have found something on that
Yeah.
very last game.
Let me see.
But that is also important. I mean, if you get like 279 or 280 game on the last game for the turbo, that's going to put you up there for sure.
For sure. And if the scoring pace stays like this, I think Noel is looking great for his 1327 for
Mm-hmm.
them. Maybe I'm almost thinking he's going to make it with 1337 if this doesn't.
It looks that way. It definitely looks that way.
Definitely good chance with the early bird. All right.
Okay, it was Martin, you said 7 and 8, right?
Martin unfortunately has an open
An
now,
open
but he
frame, yeah.
finally has a strike.
And William has moved into... I don't see him anymore.
William is on lane 3.
Yeah, that's why I couldn't see him.
In front of the ball return right now.
He's going to take a shot on lane 4. 3 and 4, that felt like it was already quite burned on the previous game. People was quite deep inside. And yes, he's moved even deeper than he was.
Nice.
That looks good, yeah.
Still.
And Emma's got the open frame on the first frame, but then she's got a turkey.
So Shani walked right into the ball return. So that's also a very nice thing to see, that the girls are trying to move to the left where they're supposed to be, but obviously a little bit less experience going in front of the ball return because it's not the skill that's super required.
No,
when
especially when they're bowling a women's event, they don't move that deep inside, so it's not something that it's happening that often for them. But let's see, she's now making a shot on lane 2. She's around 19 on the. Yeah, that's
nice.
a very nice ball reaction and perfect carry. And that body language as well. Yeah, the expression on her face. It was like, come on, I'm gonna do it no matter what. I'm gonna do it, and that's what I like. That's one of the funny things of, or the admirable things of bowling, when the bowlers get into that kind of a focus feeling that you no longer see anything else. You don't listen to anybody. You just see that target and you just keep going into that target. It's a beautiful feeling also when you get into that zone in your brain. You feel like nobody can beat you. It doesn't matter who they are. It doesn't matter how big the name is. You get that automatism at that moment, that consistency, and you just keep going. And here's the man of the hour just passing by. We were talking about you. Nothing good. No worries.
James handling his business now. He can still punch out to get to 1300, even though it looked fairly tough the whole time. And that's also one
Looks
of the.
like he's gonna survive on 2 very high games. He had one game of 278. Then the other was 160, 190, 170, and 217. Okay, lane 14. After 5, front 5, just looking for the 6th one. Very nice shot. 6 in a row, front 6. We have a couple of contenders for turbo. For the turbo on this 6th game of the squad. Now we see Anton Algren.
He's going.
Is he gonna bowl on lane 10 or 11, right? 6.5 arrow. That's pretty deep inside.
He's so good at doing that.
Yeah, you said that yesterday. You mentioned it. He's really good when he goes deeper and deeper and deeper.
And you see, and that's still creating some angle. It wasn't completely straight.
No. 10 pin for Emma, but still on 20 over on this game.
That's good.
Yeah, for the girls division, if she manages to end up like 40 or 50 over, that's going to be a very good score. It's going to give her a lot of chances to get that gateway in.
Huge shots for Martin, getting back to a plus this game. That would be very good.
He's also bowling quite deep inside at the moment, standing somewhere around 40, even deeper.
Oh, that is not a reaction that you want to see. And on his body language, it looked like he kind of thought it was going to be okay.
Yeah, it didn't look that bad. It just,
Didn't
for some
hook.
reason, it went down. It felt almost like he hit some urethane traffic by the. I don't think that's the case because we haven't seen any urethane that deep inside. But I mean, the reaction of the ball, it felt like it
Actually,
had
I
hit
was
some
watching the
spot.
stream yesterday too. Joachim Karlsson did one of those. He released the ball and he looked all confident, and the ball just missed the headpin, and he looked super confused. So for a turbo game for James, he can punch out to 279, and now we're getting to scores where he can actually hold on to make it. He's, but you can also say that on one part he has a few high games that he lives on, but when he starts to combine what he did for the high games and skip the things he did when he's doing the low games, it can
Yeah,
go
then
pretty high.
he's gonna go pretty high. Yeah, I agree.
There's a few bowlers like James and Jesper when we've been playing championships, is that very very few times do they go backwards. Like if they figure out how to do 1300, you know the next time's going to be at least 1300. When they bowl 1400 the first time, most likely it's gonna
carry on
yeah.
on the 1400s.
Okay.
Noel is the one really going for the turbo on this one. He's got 7 in a row. Front 7, we should say. Or better said. Bowling on 11, 12 or 13, 14. 13, 14, I think it is.
And we hope that Martin can get a few strikes together, but at least we can see that the cut is not going to move a lot this time either.
No. Again, it's gonna remain below the 150 over for sure. But
Zacharias.
I'm not gonna lose my hope. I
That
said
was
150 over yesterday. I'm gonna stick into that because it's a lot of days to go.
yeah.
Still a lot of bowlers that have not been here yet, and some of the good ones that have been here yet, they for sure will find different solutions. They have a lot of talent. They become very consistent. It's at least 40 or 50 bowlers up here that they have that potential to score really, really high when they get, ignited and when they get their automatisms going on, or once they figure out how they want to do it. So why not? Maybe
Let's see.
150. You know what I think we should do since the man of the hour is here. Oh, he's gone. I'm gonna ask him later on. I'm gonna ask Chris and see what he thinks the cut could be. Maybe he don't want to say, but I'm gonna try to ask him and see what he says.
James just left a 7-pin to get to 250, so he's not gonna make the turbo on that. But on the other hand, it kind of looked like nobody's gonna beat his 13-17. So he's still
No,
looking okay for the
and
early burn.
if someone did was William, but William was already ahead, so it makes no difference. Oh, number 8 for Noel. The body language was like he missed a little bit in, but the ball held okay on the pocket.
And we also have to say he's bowling together with Zacharias Lindqvist, and he had a very good shot. He left the 7-pin on that can be expensive. He can get to 1280. It could have been 1300 if he got.
Yes.
Should we go down and watch Martin? Unfortunately, has another open, so he is struggling a little bit now. Martin can still punch this out. He makes 207. But right now it doesn't look like he really has that situation. So hopefully I can see maybe a ball change. Hope it's gonna help.
I think it's going to the Zen 25. Looked like the Zen 25 on his hands. That was a wonderful shot. Has to strike out now, for sure.
And an open on Zacharias. So. Oh, bigger.
Oh, that's an expensive one, yeah. 6-0.
Ah, they. One person had a tough day today. Unlikely is Ilhamar, which talked to him a little bit before too. He said that he was looking forward on going home and getting some other equipment here, something a little bit cleaner and doesn't read quite so early. So at least he.
So he's gonna go back and come back
Yeah.
a little bit later on the week.
Yep. Probably he's gonna be back on Friday. Nice.
Okay, Noel trying to get the 9th. That looked a little bit out. Yeah, it looked a little bit out. So potentially 276 for the turbo. And Emma is still holding up for maybe 215. So that would put her around 30 something over 40, 1240. That would put her on the lead on the girls division. Not that there is a girls division, but so they can qualify into the final. Yes, this is almost over, and we will be back a little bit later on, of course. We will carry on doing some commentaries, and we'll try to bring some guests if they're feeling like chatty and they want to talk and join us for a little while. And
yeah, we can see now that unfortunately nothing is gonna change now. James still got to 88 over, which is good, but not as good as before. William is going for a Dutch 200 game, which is good, but he's not going to break his old score.
No, he's going to stay on 1320.
So actually, the only one that can really change anything here is if Martin gets a lot of strikes, but unfortunately,
he's got another washout.
So I think we're pretty much done for this squad, and we'll see you guys for another squad.
A little bit later on, but the video will carry on, and the commentators will be coming in and out. Thank you everybody for your attention, and we hope you enjoy. I'll see you later on.